right, Mr. Wesley over here has a present for me. Let's see what we got.
The most limited edition of shirts.
Oh my God. That looks like Biggie Smalls.
It really does, though.
It's fucking awesome.
I think you have to be able to coach in person effectively before you can coach online or remotely. It's actually not that much of an intentional decision to say remote coaching versus online coaching. I think we use them kind of interchangeably. But I think what's really important is for the coach and the athlete to understand the limitations of the relationship so that they can maximize the effectiveness of it as well. That it has to be almost over communicating on the athlete's part, because they can't, the coach isn't going to be able to ask them how they feel walking in the gym every day. So communicating about energy levels, being honest, giving honest feedback to the coach, because you can't see how every rep moves. You can't see how the athlete's mood is, and that's all has to work with how the recovery is going. If they're kind of down or they seem extra tired, the athlete has to effectively communicate that to the coach, because without that communication, they're not going to be able to make the necessary changes. We have athletes, weightlifting athletes, who are coached remotely, and one was the national champion, USAW in the 48 kilo class. So it can definitely be an extremely effective thing. I think that's a bit of a paradigm shift happening in the weightlifting world, because powerlifting, there's been a lot of online coaching, remote coaching situations. I coached Mark remotely to bench PR, and I've done that with a lot of different powerlifters, but it's a bit of a new territory for weightlifters because it's so much more technical that it seems like it would need that daily hands-on. And I'm sure there's something lost in that compared to it, but is great online coaching better than less great in-person coaching? It certainly can be if the relationship is understood correctly and the athlete wants to make it the most effective situation as possible. I think what really sets us apart there, besides having a variety of offerings, weightlifting with Max, powerlifting with myself and Marissa, and the Super Total, so combined powerlifting and weightlifting training, which I believe Max is uniquely qualified for, having been both a competitor and a coach for both sports, having world record holders like Christy Hawkins in powerlifting, having multiple American record holders and national champions in weightlifting. It's just kind of a coaching pedigree that no one else has in that regard. So we've done the real hands-on coaching, which is just harder. It's a greater skill level, but also have the understanding that you can be extremely effective in just an online setting as well. When you're looking for an online coach, or really looking for online information, anything regarding training, there's kind of three areas that I see as being able to define someone as an expert. If they have personal athletic success, they have coaching success, and if they have education in the field. And hopefully you're going to have someone who has at least two of those three. There's a lot of people who may have personal athletic success because they're extremely gifted genetically. So if that's all they have, I tend to be wary of that. I mean, they're going to have some things to offer, but they might not know why they were so successful. They just were. But if you have someone who has coaching success and some education to it, whether that's formal or informal, I think you're on the right track there. And then if they're also a successful athlete themselves, there's certainly some practical knowledge and just experience-based stuff that only someone who has done it will be able to relate to them. I'm Chad Wesley Smith, at Chad Wesley Smith, and at Juggernaut Training on Facebook and Instagram. You can learn more about our coaching at juggernautcoaching.com, and we've got all kinds of books and videos on scientific principles of strength training, authored by Dr. Mike Israetel, Dr. James Hoffman, and not Dr. myself, and my most recent book, Thoughtful Pursuit of Strength.